Perhaps one of the most fascinating and underrepresented gods of modern Hinduism is Brahma. Well, one can't really blame the poor guy, addled as he is with so many curses in mythology. Temple Hinduism relegated him to the background in favor of the two other gods, Shiva and Vishnu. Yet Brahma's name and role are inseparable when we speak of the Trimurti or Trinity. On today's episode of our Deities and Iconography playlist, we'll try to understand Brahma a little better. A couple of things most of us know about Brahma. We know that Brahma was born from within the lotus that grew out of Padmanabha Vishnu's navel. We know that he has a limited lifespan. With each epoch, a new Brahma is born. We also know that among the Trimurti, he is the god of creation, whereas Vishnu is the preserver and Shiva is in charge of dissolution. Why then does he not get even half the importance as his other counterparts? Why does he not have even a fraction of the temples and rituals that Vishnu and Shiva enjoy? The answer lies in two popular myths. The better known story of the two is related to the incestuous behavior of Brahma, and it occurs in the Matsya Purana. It begins with Brahma starting the process of creation. From one half of his body, he creates a beautiful woman called Shatarupa, one with 100 forms. She is also called Sandhya, Saraswati, Gayatri, etc. This technically makes her his daughter. But Brahma is enamored by her beauty and perfection that he falls in love with her and wants to marry her. Unable to tear his eyes away from her for even one moment, he grows heads in 4 directions. When she moves above him, to avoid his gaze, he sprouts a 5th head. Brahma ultimately does marry her, and they have a son named Savarni Manu, who then becomes the progenitor of mankind. The popular version goes on to say how Rudra Shiva is disgusted with Brahma's behavior and lops off his 5th head as punishment for his incestuous behavior. He curses him that he won't be worthy of worship anymore. But this Rudra Brahma story occurs elsewhere, and they have been clubbed together in popular lore. The other story occurs in the Linga Purana. Once, Shiva manifests as Lingodbhava, or an infinite shaft of light. Brahma and Vishnu arrive there to investigate this curiosity. They place a wager on who would find the end of the shaft first and set off in the upward and downward directions respectively. Even after thousands of years of looking, none finds the end. Vishnu returns to the starting point and admits his failure, but Brahma lies that he has seen the top of the lingam. An enraged Shiva then curses him that due to his disgraceful lie, no one on earth would worship him. And the curse seems to be working. But bear this in mind that it is not because of the curses in the stories that we do not worship Brahma, but the other way around. The stories were created in all probability to explain the creator god's marked absence from everyday Hinduism. One of the reasons scholars offer behind the decline of Brahma worship is that Brahma presided over the Vedic style of sacrificial worship. Once that went out of vogue and idol-based worship took over, Brahma worship too declined. Another theory is that Brahma wasn't so much of an action god as his counterparts. He seemed to be only creating problems by giving wanton boons to demons rather than solving them. Today, there are but a few temples dedicated exclusively to Brahma in India and a few abroad. Most of you would be familiar with the Brahma temple at Pushkar in Rajasthan. But there are a few more which are based in Barmer, Konkan, Kulu Valley, Kumbakonam, Panji, Tirupattur, Bangalore, Tiruchirappalli, Kerala and Uttar Pradesh. From these temples and the Puranas, we learn some things about Brahma's iconography. He is always depicted as a yogi, often an old man with a flowing white beard. He is a Chaturmukha or 4-headed, with each head facing one cardinal direction. The 4 heads represent the 4 Vedas. He also has 4 hands in which he may be depicted holding a kamandalu, that is a water pot, an akshamala or rosary beads, a book and some kusha grass. Sometimes some of his hands are held in the abhaya and the varada mudras. A jata mukut adorns his head, there are kundalas in his ear, and a yagnopavit or the sacred thread runs across his chest. He is shown seated or standing on a lotus, and the hamsa or swan is his vehicle or vahan. He is either depicted alone or with 2 of his consorts, Saraswati and Savitri, one on each side. If you ever get a chance, do check out some beautiful Brahma sculptures at Sopara, Aihole, Kumbakonam, or Halebin and dwell upon the fascinating character of this elusive god. I shall return soon with the story of another god. Till then, Namaskar.